I am God Doken, you know? So, hey everyone, welcome back to So Well Media. We're back with episode 6 of season 2 of Gen V. This was a very, plot-heavy episode, moving the plot forward with everybody coming together, and also some surprising returning characters, fan favorite characters and stuff. So yeah, JK, what was your thoughts on episode 6?
This is our third to final episode for this season, and now that we're getting close to the finish line, we're now starting to get a lot of answers onto fully what Project Odessa is, who's Project Odessa, what that means, what Thomas Godolkin was trying to do, what Cypher was trying to do. There's just a lot that we're now starting to put the pieces of that. Now with these next 2 episodes, we're fully about to see how that all comes into fruition. So yeah, this is a very plot heavy episode, but still a very enjoyable episode with some very fun cameos. And there's a reason I brought up the glasses, because there's a certain black man who likes to double up in shades like this, because this episode brought us the return of frickin' Stan Edgar and Zoe from The Boys, aka Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah, and this is what I was waiting for you guys to see this episode, because this is where you're finally seeing the 2 worlds merge, perfectly now. Because now, Stan Edgar is still a pivotal character, even though he took a back seat, but for plot reasons and everything. But I do agree that have him return and actually kind of be to some saving the entire group in the situation and saying, hey, I'm still have a plot against Vought and everything after everything happened. And still the smartest person in the room. And I like that they use them smartly with this. Also bring back Zoe, which I felt was a beneficial plot point to actually for Marie's sister to actually understand someone that lost their mother, or parent that it can relate to, but also someone that is a single child. Is like, hey, how's your sister? Hey, how'd you do this? Blah blah. And then now coming to realization, hey, maybe I was too hard on my sister, and then she's not a bad person. And also you're also getting some revelations to her that she might potentially have some abilities, whatever. Who knows? You won't know. But it seems like she has some sense of precognition, or whatever. Similar to Black, or should I say White Canary on the CW show Legends. If you remember, like precognition, you've seen the future. You just kind of get a glimpse of something that might be happening. It's like a Peter Tinkle or a Spider Tinkle or whatever, Spider Sense, whatever. And this is we also get in terms of Marie finding out that she is also one of the only few 2 subjects coming from the Compound V of Project Odessa. It was Marie and Homelander that both were only ones that survived, meaning that she's technically on par in terms of power levels. And it's over 9,000. But yes, I just wanted to say that. What was your thoughts of we're seeing a strong connection between Marie and Homelander, and almost feel like, I gotta step up to actually take him down?
We kind of were getting that vibe because again, last episode, she literally brought her sister back from the dead. She can tell if people have Compound V in their system. She could even tell, just bit by bit, where it affects them. So seeing that now, it's like, yeah, no, you're on the same level as Homelander, because you are the only 2 that survived the Project Odessa thing that Thomas Godolkin was working on all those years ago. It makes sense in a way, and it's also cool just to blend the 2 worlds of Gen V. I mean, it's the same world, but the 2 plot lines of Gen V and the boys together, because it's it's always been what can stop Homelander? What can stop him? And it's we're really nothing, because the type of Compound V he was given was purposefully made to make him like a god, and well, we saw that it did. But now we know there's at least one other person out there that is on par, maybe even more so on par than him when it comes to that particular strand of Compound V. So just getting this information from Stan, it works really well. And also, just to go back a bit, when you talk about Zoe, it also makes sense that they would be the ones to come in, given the fact that Marie met Victoria Newman last season in Gen V before her death last season in The Boys. So it makes sense that the daughter of the person that had the same powers as her and the father of said person would be the ones to come in and help. Again, just a lot of things that made sense. And now that we're starting to get this info and the whole joking of like, oh, Homelander's your Homelander's your cousin. That was so fucked up. But no, now that we're getting this info, it's like it really just puts into perspective a lot of things for this show and what we've already seen from the boys universe. It really just puts it like Marie and Homelander are now the higher tier. Everyone else, you'd better be hopeful that you're close there.
Yeah, I felt. Now, I think it's also adding a same amount of pressure to saying that she's supposed to be put against the most powerful character in this entire universe. Most people don't know who she is, nor does she have a full grasp of her abilities. But now she's feeling that she has this strange, found new potential, which leads into Cypher having a strong devotion to her. Like, listen, Marie is the answer of me trying to find, the actual pure soup and separating the strong ones from the weak ones, and the key is her, right? Again, the apocalypse mindset, that they're trying to do with with Cypher. I kept seeing this a lot of X-Men themes in here, but again, going back to the strongest will prevail is Apocalypse. Apocalypse wants the strongest mutants and believes in the weak ones are minuscule, whatever, and then refers to all of them their children. I am God Doken, So it's literally, what they're, putting this type of savior complex in this messianic figure, you know what I mean? But I did like, also in terms of we get more with Emma and Sam, that after Sam, got rid from the control of Kate, or at least the abilities of her, pulling away his emotions, and him kind of going on a journey of self-discovery with his family. Now he's coming back to Emma, just like, hey, I'm sorry, that wasn't me. And it's like, I want to take accountability. No, take accountability. That was you. And it's like, well, that's not me anymore, And even though she don't hold grudge to him, and I think like, hey, I forgive you, but we can't go back to what we did, who we were. We're not the same person. You're not the same person. And I think that's also going to the complex of college. Like, you're not the same person you were the previous year. And then again, you evolve. And, a lot of things into, in this episode, they just showed what people might be going through randomly, like, with Marie's sister having a panic attack, or, having, anxiety and stuff. That's a real thing. Trying to resolve their eating disorder. Like, hey, say something nice to me. Like what? Like that was funny. But I just thought that was that scene between those two, Emma and Sam. It was realistic, because like, no, we don't need to see them rekindle. And yet she looked like she might be trying to start a relationship, whatever. But at the same time, she's like, I don't need this, So, yeah, what was your thoughts on that?
I mean, as I said last time, it's like I said Sam was getting on a better path, especially after last episode and everything that he came to the revelation of, and now him back with the group and everything. It's like I knew this talk was going to eventually come, and it's like, yeah, no, the two of them have become a lot different. As I've said, Emma is not the same as she was in season 1, and neither is Sam as he was by the end of season 1, or even earlier in this season. They both have changed for the better. But also, yes, I could see it's being the fact of, will they not? It's really up for debate. I mean, they could, and I wouldn't be mad at it, but I also understand if they don't, because it's like a lot of things were said, and you can't take back a lot of the things that were said, to each other. Like, there's just no taking back some of those words that were said. Even if you are not in that same mindset anymore, or even if you've moved past it, it's like, it was said that you can't undo that. Now is there room for there to grow into something better? Yes, there is. I mean, even Sam said he doesn't want to go back to where things were, because before he was seeing puppets and he wasn't fully himself. He wasn't mentally there. So it's like, there is a chance, but I also wouldn't be mad if they don't, because it's like they both deserve to be put on a better path, and they are both on that better path right now. But it's just going forward. Is that with each other? If it is, that's cool. If it's not, it is what it is. And I mean, hey, that's just life at this point, And I'm glad that they're realistically showing that.
That was beautifully said, because again, it's realistic that they showed that. I think again, we done with the whole anticlimactic, soap opera about, elements. We've seen a lot of like television, especially, but going to Cypher again, there's mystery about him thinking that maybe there's connection to the old man in the in Cypher's mansion, thinking that it actually not might be his father, it might be Godolkin, or
Mhm.
maybe Godolkin is his grandfather or something. We don't know. Again, I think again they keep teasing you what's going on here, but and we get into that interaction with Polaris and stuff, seeing that he can be him actually and
Mhm.
mentally, but again he's deteriorating, and I don't know if that's potentially where Marie can come in and do something. I don't know, once after he just Falcon Punch, or you want to call it Jean Grey him out of the window, like kamikaze or whatever, and basically say, hey, now he can probably get healed that condition that ultimately infected his son, so but yeah, what are your thoughts in terms of the Polaris and Cypher scenes in this, because they were very intense and I think they were well performed by both the actors.
Those scenes between the both of them, it was just like, again, I can definitely see it being the case where even if it's momentarily, that Polaris is getting a bit better, because as we saw at the end of the episode, he was able to stop Cypher from messing with his head and even push him out the window. Now, again, is it momentarily? Is he getting, because he's probably still deteriorating like his son, but who knows? It might be the case where he is able, because Cypher was talking much about faith. Like, he said he was trying to help his son while his son was locked up in Elmira. But, when medicine doesn't work, sometimes you just gotta, rely on faith. And maybe that is an instance where it's like, this isn't helping me. We've tried everything, but maybe if I just believe in it, or believe in the power in myself and in the people I'm trying to help, now I can do it. And maybe that's an example of it. Maybe it'll get an expansion on next episode. Who knows? I mean, there's still a certain scene I'm waiting for from the trailers in terms of Polaris that I'm kind of scared about. But again, it's like, will he get better? Will he not? It's to be determined. Will he do it himself? Will it be Marie, since we know she can heal people? I mean, hell, even Kate said that maybe she can heal her powers. Will that be the case? That's to be seen. But in terms of that, like, yeah, those were very powerful scenes. Again, giving us more hints of whether or not that charred body is Godolkin, or if Godolkin's in Cypher's mind. Who knows? Either way, the Tin Man from Wicked is definitely still holding a big plot point within the show that is still being kept secret even into these last 2 episodes. So that's just really for us to wait and see at this point.
Yeah, again, there's not much I can say because I know what's about to happen, but all I'll just say is that you guys got to stay tuned, because the answers will be soon revealed to all. All will be revealed. In the words of Apocalypse, all will be revealed. Yes. And before he's incinerated. But anyway, then make sure you guys hit subscribe and comment, like, and share. Let us know your thoughts on this episode, and we see you guys in the next video. Peace.